Good evening. You must decide where you want to go. Do not let the winds of life determine your life's outcome. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al-Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. His Majesty the Sultan of Oman starts today official visit to Bahrain. Foreign Minister affirmed Bahrain's cooperation with the United Nations. Saudi introduced new rules for private sector worker absences. First GCC cyber security exercise launched. European Union countries met to agree stance for UN climate negotiations. News in detail. His Majesty the Sultan of Oman arrived in Bahrain for official visit. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa today welcomed His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq of Oman as he arrived in the kingdom on an official visit at His Majesty the King's invitation. His Majesty King Hamad and His Majesty Sultan Haitham will hold talks on the strong fraternal and historic relations between the two countries as well as the latest regional, Arab and international developments, the Royal Court said in its statement. The Royal Court seizes the occasion to welcome the country's honorable guest and the accompanying delegation, wishing His Majesty the Sultan of Oman a pleasant stay in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The statement said, His Majesty the Sultan's visit to the kingdom stems from the well-established relations between the two countries and aims to strengthen the bonds of fraternity, ties, kinship and love that unite their people, it added. Foreign Minister affirmed Bahrain's cooperation with the United Nations. On the occasion of the United Nations Day, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, affirmed the Kingdom of Bahrain's keenness under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa to continue cooperation with the international organization to achieve peace and prosperity throughout the world. He stressed the Kingdom's commitment with the principles contained in the United Nations Charter in establishing international relations based on mutual respect, non-interference in the affairs of other states, and the strengthening of international cooperation to face all challenges. He noted the Kingdom's approach in promoting the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence among various religions, cultures and civilizations in combating terrorism and extremism. Dr. Al-Zayani also reviewed the initiatives of the Kingdom in supporting partnership with the UN in line with the Strategic and Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, including the visit of Pope Francis and Al-Azhar Al-Sharif Grand Imam and Chairman of the Muslim Council of Elders, Dr. Ahmad Muhammad Ahmad Al-Tayyib, to participate in an international conference on interreligious peace and dialogue and hosting the 18th session of Manama Dialogue in November. He also expressed pride in the contributions of Bahraini diplomats in implementing the foreign policy of the kingdom and achieving its objectives. Bahrain UAE Joint Higher Committee Ministerial held 10th meeting. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation in the United Arab Emirates, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, chaired the 10th session of the ministerial meeting of the Joint Higher Committee between the two countries. Dr. Al Zayani delivered a speech in which he praised bilateral ties and cooperation in light of the support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the President of the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He also valued the efforts of the UAE in maintaining peace and stability at the regional and international levels, in addition to supporting joint GCC and Arab action. For his part, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the UAE noted the development of relations between the sides, affirming the importance of further enhancing partnership at all levels to achieve mutual interest. The committee discussed a number of issues and affirmed its keenness to reinforce cooperation between the two sides in all fields. BDF conducting live ammunition drills in Haresh Taya. Bahrain Defense Force said it would be conducting live ammunition drills in the shooting ranges in the Haresh Taya area on Tuesday. The BDF has called on all people to stay away from the designated area for their safety. Tourism sector provides opportunities to young entrepreneurs and startups, told Minister. Tourism Minister Fatima bin Jafar Al Sayrafi stressed keenness on engaging young entrepreneurs and startups in the industry of tourism and travel and supporting innovative ideas in order to bolster Bahrain's standing as an attractive destination. The minister made the statement as she held a meeting with Bahraini chapter of the Entrepreneurs Organization Board of Trustees chairperson Farayel Abdullah Nas to discuss joint cooperation. She stressed keenness on supporting young entrepreneurs' innovative ideas, which contributes to diversifying the Bahraini tourism product and launching more innovative quality tourism initiatives. Bahrain to get an Ayurvedic hospital soon. Bahrain will soon have a fully fledged Ayurvedic hospital that will place the millennia-old alternative medicinal system within the framework of the kingdom's modern healthcare delivery template. The announcement was made by Namat Al-Subai, allied medical profession advisor and National Health Regulatory Authority, at a seminar to mark the 7th Ayurveda Day at the Indian Embassy. She said that 3 investors had already come forward to help set up the facility. The event held over the weekend was organized by leading Ayurveda medical centers and pharmacies in Bahrain under the patronage of Embassy of India, Bahrain. Chief guest was the former Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Abdurrahman Bu Ali, who delivered a keynote address about the need to refocus Ayurvedic treatment as a preventive care system in line with the 2022 theme of Ayurveda Every Day, Ayurveda Everywhere. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. Bahrain to witness partial solar eclipse on Tuesday. As Bahrain is all set to witness a partial solar eclipse, astronomer Ali Al-Hajari has warned eclipse watchers here to take extreme caution while observing the celestial phenomenon. Watching the eclipse with naked eyes or through sunglasses can cause severe harm to the retina, says Al-Hajari. A safe technique to observe the solar eclipse is either by using proper filter like aluminized mylar or black polymer, welding glass of shade number 14, or by making a projection of the sun's image on a white board by telescope. Now we will be back after a very short break. The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
The exclusive franchisee of Cochin Kala Bhavan in Bahrain, with over a decade of existence in Bahrain. Exclusive online regular classes have started for classical dances, music vocal, instrumental music, cinematic dance, Kathak, Zumba body fitness, karate and yoga, drawing, arts and craft, children's theatre. For more information, please call 3909 6845 3909 09480638852397 or visit www.bahrainmediacity.com.
Welcome back. Al Salam Specialist Hospital has intensified its crusade to promote early detection and prevention of breast cancer by observing Wear Pink Day and bringing together people from all walks of life for a walkathon on 22nd October at the Al Istiqlal Jogging Park. Report. Breast cancer is still the most common cancer found in women. It is still tearing apart the lives of families, and it is still taking the lives of women around us. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Jamal Saleh, chairman of Al Salam Specialist Hospital and consultant orthopedic surgeon, stated that it is vital to raise awareness of breast cancer, as early detection often through screenings and help catch the disease in its early stages. Wear Pink Day and Walkathon are efforts in this direction. He further said that it is important for women to get regular mammograms and clinical breast exams, since they can detect breast cancer before symptoms appear. Dr. Ravi Preet Singh, Chief Operating Officer and Acting Chief Executive Officer, said that initiatives like Wear Pink Day and Walkathon has reaffirmed Al Salam Specialist Hospital's commitment to spreading breast cancer awareness across Bahrain. He further stated that the endeavor of encouraging women to screen for breast cancer will not stop after 31st October 2022. Patients are free to walk in any time, even in the following months, to avail the special packages for a breast cancer screening. Dr. Muhammad Al-Sawaidi, Medical Director at Al Salam Specialist Hospital and consultant surgeon, added that Wear Pink Day is a simple gesture for a complex issue. He emphasized that the walkathon enabled to raise the voices together and spread the word about the need for breast cancer screenings. The main objectives of these events is to motivate people for a healthier cancer-free society. Al Salam Specialist Hospital will also continue striving hard to encourage each one to screen at least one person for breast cancer with its Pink Screen Each One campaign. Saudi introduced new rules for private sector worker absences. The Saudi Ministry of Human Resources and Social Development on Sunday updated regulations governing worker absences in private sector establishments. It is part of the ministry's efforts to improve the contractual relationship between workers and employers, preserve the contractual rights of all parties, and increase the attractiveness as well as flexibility of a labor market in Saudi Arabia. The measures for employee interruption were updated as follows. After the employer submits a request to terminate the contractual relationship due to the worker's interruption from work, the data of the expatriate worker ceases to be linked to that facility, and his status is discontinued from work in the ministry systems, and the current employer does not bear any consequences. The worker has the right within 60 days to transfer to another employer or final exit, and after 60 days have passed without the expatriate worker taking one of these two options, the status of the expatriate worker becomes absent from work in the ministry systems and related regulations. The ministry said that for expatriate workers who have been reported as absent from work before the date of his update, employers would be allowed to transfer their services to their facilities if their status is absent from work, and the late fees on the worker's record will be transferred to the new employer with the worker's consent when transferring services to new employer. And if the transfer of the service of the expatriate worker is not completed within 15 days from the date of the ministry's approval of the transfer, the status of the expatriate will remain absent from work. First GCC cyber security exercise launched. The GCC Ministerial Committee for Cyber Security today held its first at the headquarters of the General Secretariat in Riyadh. The meeting was chaired by Majid bin Mohammed Al Mazayed, Governor of the National Cyber Security Authority in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Chairman of the current session in the presence of Dr. Muhammad Hamid Al Kuwaiti, Chairman of the Supreme Council for Cyber Security of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Salman bin Muhammad Al Khalifa, Chief Executive Officer of the National Center for Cyber Security of the Kingdom of Bahrain, Syed bin Hamad Al Mawali, Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology of the Sultanate of Oman, Abdurrahman bin Ali Al Farahid Al Malki, Chairman of the National Cyber Security Agency of the State of Qatar, and Brigadier Ahmed Majid Al Majid, Assistant Director General of the General Directorate of Information in the Ministry of Interior of the State of Kuwait, and with the participation of Dr. Naif Fala M. Al Hajraf, Secretary General of the GCC. During the meeting, several topics related to the common aspects of cooperation among the GCC states in the field of cyber security were discussed, including developing frameworks, policies, and joint procedures to address cyber threats, aligning efforts between the GCC states in various sectors, raising the level of international cooperation with relevant states and organizations, and enhancing the growth of the cybersecurity industry in the GCC states, and the exchange of knowledge, expertise, studies, and experiences related to cybersecurity, with the aim of creating safe cyberspace to protect the GCC states from cyber threats. Additionally, the first Gulf cybersecurity exercise was launched during the meeting. The exercise aims to enhance communication and information sharing among the GCC states, exchange experiences between national cadres specialized in cybersecurity, raise the level of cyber readiness, and prepare to confront cyber threats and risks. In addition to finding innovative solutions to meet challenges in cyber threats. Saudi land carriers obligated to add passengers' data to luggage. The Transportation General Authority has obliged the companies carrying passengers through land ports to add the data of passengers who are traveling inside or outside Saudi Arabia on their luggage. GTA's obligation came in accordance with the circular of the Federation of Saudi Chambers of Commerce regarding what the Zakat Tax and Customs Authority is doing to review the procedures related to its competence and to develop them at land customs ports. Through this review, it aims to facilitate and improve the movement of travelers in line with the Kingdom's Vision 2030, in addition to its security strategy. The Federation of Saudi Chambers of Commerce's circular stated that the competent authorities in Zakat Tax and Customs Authority had worked in coordination with the General Directorate of Passports to establish a hall to receive the passengers arriving by buses. The passport and inspection procedures will be completed in the reception halls, GTA said, stressing that this requires informing the carriers of the obligation to add the passengers' data on their luggage, in addition to closing any security gaps that can be exploited for smuggling. Oman denied presence of new COVID-19 mutant in country. The Ministry of Health has denied rumors about the presence of a new COVID-19 mutant in the Sultanate of Oman. A statement issued online by Ministry of Health said, "The Curve Observatory of the Directorate General of Disease Surveillance and Control shows the registration of small numbers of positive tests for the COVID-19 virus during the past weeks and the high registration of cases of seasonal influenza, stressing that what is rumored about the presence of a mutated virus for COVID-19 is incorrect. In response to the rumor of the presence of a new COVID mutant, the epidemiological trend shows a small number of positive COVID tests in the past weeks and the high positive of seasonal influenza tests, as the orange color represents COVID and blue is influenza. The Ministry of Health confirmed that respiratory viruses spread naturally at this time of the year and cold and fever symptoms are frequent. And this is what we witness annually from an increase in the activity of respiratory viruses during this time of the year, and there is no need for concern." Hurricane Roslin made landfall in Mexico. Hurricane Roslin slammed into a sparsely populated stretch of Mexico's Pacific coast between the resorts of Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan Sunday morning, then declined to tropical storm force and quickly moved inland. By Sunday morning, Roslin had winds of 70 mph per hour, down from its peak of 130 mph per hour, Associated Press reported. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Roslin was about 55 90 kilometers southeast of the northern city of Durango. The hurricane was moving northeast at 31 km per hour and was expected to lose strength further as it moves further inland. The center expects Roslin could become a tropical depression before reaching Texas. While it missed a direct hit, Roslin brought heavy rain and high waves to Puerto Vallarta, where ocean surges lashed the beachside promenade. Roslin came ashore in Nayarit State, in roughly the same area where Hurricane Orlin made landfall on October 3rd. European Union countries met to agree stance for UN climate negotiations. European Union countries will attempt on Monday to agree their negotiating position for their year's UN climate talks, including on the contentious topic of financial compensation for the damage climate change is inflicting on the world's poorest. The European Union, the world's third biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, is facing pressure from developing nations to soften its long-standing resistance to compensation for the loss and damage wrought by floods, rising seas and other climate change-fueled impacts. According to Reuters, a draft of the European Union's negotiating position for the United Nations Summit in November, which climate ministers will attempt to approve on Monday, showed the 27-nation bloc would support talks on the topic at the COP27 gathering in Egypt. That could represent a breakthrough, since even getting the issue of loss and damage onto the summit agenda has proved contentious given the divergent views among rich and poor nations about where those talks should lead. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan, signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.